Welcome back to another video. On the release date of this one, I'm turning 25. And a week ago, I was reflecting what are my most profound insights or lessons that I could share with you. Hopefully there is something you can take out of it for yourself. As there is a lot to cover, let's go right in. 25 years, 25 lessons. Build horizontal relationships, not vertical ones. This is something I learned from the individual psychology of Alfred Adler. What it means is that I want to avoid any type of hierarchy or status games. I don't want to be above or below my coworkers, family members, friends, or partner. This is not necessarily something you agree with or would choose for yourself, but I'm not really interested in managing people, and I'm definitely not interested in being managed. I think there is a freedom in doing neither of these. Express an opinion on less things. That's a simple one and something I'm more and more implementing in my life. The bigger the scope, the less you understand, so why take a side or even argue? When I talk about something I don't really fully understand, the Richard Feynman quote usually pops up into my head after the conversation. The first principle is that you must never fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. No matter what, I'll be okay. Very simple yet very powerful. If you really internalize this, a lot of your fear and anxiety should disappear. I was born healthy in a quote-unquote rich country and have an internet connection, so I've already won. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Practice beats theory, reality beats models. I've talked about this numerous times, so I won't go into detail here. Humans are 10 times as smart and successful when tinkering instead of planning meticulously. My order of systems to make decisions is common sense, followed by logic, followed by data, followed by emotions. Most decisions you make on a daily basis are just common sense decisions, and this is obvious and has to be that way because otherwise you would go completely crazy if for every single detail you would need to refigure out the logic on how to do something. So common sense is definitely necessary, but on more complex decisions the other systems are really important. For me, to figure out the right path is logic, not data. Many people get this twisted. Data is, in my opinion, a really hyped up thing and often pretty much useless, because with a big amount of data comes a big amount of noise. Also, cherry-picking data is a trap. So nothing beats first principle reasoning and logic when making decisions. If logic doesn't work, add data points, and if that doesn't help, then go with your gut, make the emotional decision. You can flip the order of systems in case you want to inspire or lead others. It's emotions followed by data, followed by logic, and then, finally, common sense. People need a narrative. A story that is backed by some, maybe not even useful data, makes most people disregard logic and common sense. Don't follow the news. This is also something I've previously stated, and I really believe in it because news are by definition short-lived and your family and friends will tell you about the important events anyway. So don't waste your time on something that is not really relevant tomorrow and doesn't really make your life better. You don't need motivation to create results. You need results to create motivation. This one is really powerful once you really get it. The first iteration in this motivation cycle comes from discipline or inspiration. It enables results that motivate. This also changes your perception of what passion is. Being passionate about something is, in my opinion, not in your genes. You become passionate about something when you get really good at it, not the other way around. The things I strive for are an entrepreneur's mind, athlete's body, and artist's soul. A quote by James Clear. While it's probably not obvious yet, this will be the core theme of this channel. So far I've only covered the first one, I think, and maybe the third part a little bit, but all three will be present at some point. Don't listen to society. This sounds a bit harsh and is similar to the news one. Why not listen to society? They are by definition just average in everything. This does not mean that you shouldn't listen to an individual that you are discussing something with. It just means the consensus society formed as a whole is not necessarily what applies to you. Groups can only ever find consensus, whereas individuals can find truth. Also, don't listen to experts unless they are held accountable. Otherwise, you end up with the principal-agent problem, where the expert only cares about his upside and not your downside. If he is wrong, he needs to suffer like you do. He needs to have skin in the game. And as Bitcoiners always say, do your own research, don't trust, verify. Pleasure disguises as happiness. Pleasure and happiness are pretty much the opposite when you look at time horizons. Addiction to comfort is maybe the most relevant disease of our time, and most addictions have this exact goal: give you pleasure for a short moment while having a bad impact on your happiness and health in the long run. If I'm qualified to do something, it's already boring. This is definitely a bit over-dramatized to make it sound catchy. What I mean is that the journey is the reward is the truest thing I know, and that you go from unqualified to qualified by doing something once. For the last 7 years or so, I've been paid doing things I'm unqualified for. That's just how it is in a small startup. A lot of accountability and a lot of personal growth are the results. Life is great if you think it's great. Another simple, powerful one. I'm quite stoic in that regard. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Take risks, have courage. Look out for convex opportunities, meaning opportunities that have more potential upside than potential downside. Living is risk-taking in my opinion. Monetize your learning curve. You are good enough to profit off of what you're doing. Imposter syndrome is real and it's stupid. Stay a lifelong learner and collect the monetary rewards on the way. You become who you follow. This is something I'm sure most of you have heard before, but I think it's true. There is even the concept that you become the average of the 5 people closest to you, so choose who you spend time with wisely. You can force luck through learning something and having the courage to display it publicly. The second part is essential. Just by expressing my thoughts on subjects that I care about on this channel has created so many opportunities for me already. This is not something I expected when I started the channels a few months ago. I'm now able to 10x my standard in what I say yes to. I also talked about this phenomenon in my video on why you should become a creator. He who is brave is free. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Loyalty to ideas is a bottleneck to truth. This is a hard one. Being undogmatic and not falling for the confirmation bias doesn't come easy. But it's something I remind myself of, and I always try to challenge what I believe to be true. Next one is a personal one. I hate credentialism. For real, titles don't mean anything. Show me what you can do instead of telling me what you can do. The saying fine feathers make fine birds sort of works in reverse for me. If you wear a suit, you will have a harder time convincing me. Be like Strike's Jack Maulers. Wear a hoodie or go shirtless. No one has it all figured out. Some just hide it better than others. Not much of an explanation necessary here. No one knows anything. The world is just way too complex. A few paradoxes for fun. Live in the moment but plan your future. If you try to impress, you will not be impressive. We are selfish and yet care about what other people think about us. We feel more lonely by being more connected. The more people are part of the conversation, the less interesting the conversation. Everyone is different, but we are all the same. When working for others, track output. When working for yourself or on yourself, track input and compound. Set goals and expectations accordingly. You should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. Don't be a pessimist, because pessimists don't get shit done. Pessimism can look cool and smart and the world is going downhill and so on. But yeah, then change it. Change the world. I mean, you can really do that. Pessimism is denying life itself. Just read. Read a lot. I really believe that reading rewires your brain. You have a lot more analogies at your disposal and that just makes you smarter. I bet you could chart a graph that shows how smart someone is has a high correlation with how many pages he or she read. If you don't inspire anyone to do something great, what are you even doing? I've compiled all 25 lessons into a tweet thread that you can check out in case you want to come back to some of these thoughts. The link is in the video description. If you got this far into the video, I guess you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for further content, and I see you next time.